Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. Guys, this is your quick tip of the week. So I am repainting the side of the house. So this house is stucco, and I've come up with an approach that seems to work. Now I figured this out by accident, but I think it's worth noting. So this is the original stucco. I believe this is unpainted, and then we have our paint here. Now I painted this house about 15 years ago. I went over the original paint, which I believe is this here, but I came up with a quick and simple way to get the old paint off without scraping, because the side of the house will take a while to scrape if you can even get it off. So instead of doing just this, you see some of the loose bits here. That is easy to get off because I already started working on this area before. But with that in mind, what we'll do now is a tools list. Alright guys, this is the tools list for this job. So I have a 2-inch putty knife. Now this thing is so worn you can see that the points are gone. If you want to go to a bigger putty knife, maybe a 3-inch, feel free to do so. It depends on the texture of your stucco. A steel bristle brush. This is specifically for welding, but you're going to want a steel bristle brush to go over everything as you're scraping your paint away. And in my opinion, the most important tool for this job is an electric pressure washer. So this is a 2000 psi pressure washer. I think 2,000 pounds is a happy medium between not damaging anything but having enough power to strip your paint off. But guys, this is the tools list for this job. So let's strip this paint off the side of the house. Alright, so I have my pressure washer here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle the nozzle, I'd say somewhere around a 45, maybe a little bit less. But what you're going to see is you're going to see the paint start to peel off. I don't think going direct at it is all the greatest, but if you can get underneath it, you can start to pull areas like this, like bigger areas, off in one shot. So my suggestion is go ahead, hit it with the pressure washer, let it dry, scrape, hit it with the pressure washer again, and just keep doing that until you get everything off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the pressure washer, and then we're going to clean this area here so we can at least get the first part of this approach into motion. Alright, starting with the pressure washer. This is a 2000 psi electric pressure washer. I think 2000 psi is the ideal pressure because it's strong enough to get the paint off, but it's gentle enough not to damage the exterior stucco. And stuff like this is what you want to do, is nice big pieces of paint. Now the one other thing I also recommend is if you're going to blast this way, come back later on and then blast from the opposite way to try to work the paint off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another round with the pressure washer all the way across, and then once this is all dry, we'll come back and start scraping paint. Alright, so I spent about 10 minutes trying to blast off some of the paint here. So this is what we're after, is stuff like this, where you can get a nice big long piece taken off. Now you can already see the paint where this was the original. This is my paint that I did about 15 years ago, which means it's you have more than one layer on the side. But I would say for a smoother texture you can go to a bigger putty knife, but this is a 2-inch putty knife. By soaking the paint, it seems to, besides breaking it up, but it also seems to help it to unstick to the wall a little bit better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go across the wall. I'm going to scrape off what I can, and then I'll blast it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going back and forth. And then once that is done, once everything is dry, you can take a steel bristle brush and then go over the bits and just keep doing the pattern over and over again until you get the level that you want cleared off. Like you see all of this stuff here is nice and down to original material, and this is going to make a better bonding for when you repaint. All right, so this is the level that I'm at. So you see a few bits, which is not a big deal, but anything that's loose like this, if you see it, just take it off with either your putty knife or with a steel bristle brush. So the steel bristle brush, like this one here, I think this is a welding brush, but this will be your very final pass to take off any loose bits. Now I'm going to roll this area because this is smooth enough that a roller is going to work. If you want to use a sprayer, that's fine, but you want to try to get off any of your loose stuff. So I would suggest go over the entire wall really quickly with a steel bristle brush and then get the loose bits off. But like this up here, this is all in good shape because it's never in the sun, it's never in the rain, and then this stuff down here came off a lot easier. But this is now at a point where it's ready for being repainted. So to finish off this video, guys, what we'll do is we'll look at the neighbor a few doors down and an example of peeling paint that is not suitable to be repainted. You'll have to take the existing paint off because your new paint's not going to stick to anything solid. All right, guys, here's an example of having to peel the paint back before doing a new coat. So all this over here is no good. This is all peeling away. I mean, this house needs a fair bit of work, but if this is what you're going to paint over, you have to strip this paint back, otherwise your new paint is not going to work. So this side is bad, and then we'll look at this side as well, and it's the same thing, rinse and repeat. But guys, that is your quick tip of the week.